Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker and you just want to lurk around and not say anything, you can just do that. That's okay. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. It's a Thursday. I forgot for a second what day it was. It's Thursday, and I'm going to try to finish the Master Grade Vidar. The Vidar is right here. It's a big kit. I had to zoom out my camera to get all of this in shot. The Vidar is a large and in charge kit. Thank you to DSHS for sending this along because you had bought it and then also got it gifted. So you were like, I have an extra one of these. And then you also sent another kit because you were like, I'm never going to build this, so enjoy. So I have a Char's Zaku 2 SD kit waiting in the wings for me to build next. It's over here. I haven't gotten it out of its box yet, but it's there. Yeah, so tonight's plan, talk about some anime in the second hour, talk about some video game stuff in the first hour, maybe some wrestling talk if we need to get there, because SummerSlam is this weekend. I don't plan to watch it live, but I will watch it. Because Collision is airing tonight, AEW Collision is airing this evening. After the stream, I'm going to watch the West Coast replay of it. So Saturday night after stream, I'll probably watch some of the first night of SummerSlam, and then the second night I'll probably watch like over next week. Next Monday, probably during the day. Hey, Lord Crashin, welcome, welcome. So yeah, so I'm not going to watch that show live, but I will watch it. I've been kind of keeping up with storylines. There are a few matches that I think are pretty interesting that I would like to see. So yeah, like I said, pardon me, sorry for the yawn. I might check that out tonight. We'll see where we go. But I will say that right now, we're going to the overhead camera. So you may notice that you see the numbers here you don't normally see because I usually zoom in. I zoomed out as much as I could because I wanted to get this whole kit in frame. And that's how far I have to zoom out because this is a tall Master Grade. It's pretty dang tall. It is, I guess for comparison's sake, it is taller than a marker. It is like a marker and change tall. So that's pretty tall for a Master Grade. The Vidar is quite the hefty. And then I'm going to zoom in while we work on other parts, and then we'll zoom out once it's done. But we are going to work on the next part of this kit, so we'll get ready for that, which is the side skirts. These side skirts, which hold the basically the lance, the foil swords. The replaceable, swords, they go on there. So we will have to put that in. And we do have to put together this whole kit. Also, I mentioned in the pre-show, so I'll mention it now again, just so you're aware. It is storming around here. We got thunderstorm happening, and you won't hear it. You should not hear the rumbling of thunder because of the gate that I have set up. The gate that I have should prevent you from hearing those kinds of noises. But it won't prevent me from reacting to thunder. So if there's a lot of thunder suddenly, then I might physically react to it, So you may see me jump a little bit. You might see me get jump scared by sounds. Just so you know, everything's okay. It's probably just thunder. We had some good thunder on Monday night. Love a good thunderstorm. Yeah, Lord Crashington, we've had thunder. We've had rain off and on all week. We had a bad storm last night that I slept through, which rules. I'm glad I slept through it because I want to get proper sleep when I can. And I also enjoy a thunderstorm. I don't particularly love a thunderstorm when I'm streaming because it's not a great thing going on in the background. For me, for other people, maybe fine. For me, not particularly thrilled by it. If you get what if you pick up what I'm putting down. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy with the sudden sounds when I'm trying to do this stuff. All right, so this goes in like here, and then that goes like that. And I have to Press it down as much as possible, but that goes like that. So, man, I don't want to go too far down. It says, like that. Okay, I think that's how they want me to do it. We'll find out. I think I'm doing this correctly. It goes like this. Nope, that just flies right out. So that's probably not right. Okay, I think I've done that one correctly. And I think I've done that correctly. We'll find out. I think I'm doing it right. But yeah, we got some storms coming through. And it shouldn't do anything. The lights did flicker about an hour ago. So fingers crossed that will, or knock on wood, I'll knock on some wood, that we will not lose power, because that would be a fucking nightmare. Be really frustrating. So I'm going to finish up the Vidar tonight. I'm pretty sure. All we have left is the side skirts, the backpack, and the weapons. We might cut it close, but I think we'll be able to proceed with wrapping this thing up. So we will move forward like we're going to do that. Can't really stay late tonight to wrap it up. But if we have to finish the kit up on Saturday, that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm not going to be mad about that, especially because I won't have anything pressing to do after on Saturday. Like, look, could I be late to watch Collision? Could I stay late and do that? Yeah, I totally could. It doesn't matter. But I don't want to do that. I want to watch it when I want to watch it. So that's kind of how I feel. All right, so this has to go this side like this. And it goes like, it locks in like that so it can slide. This is how this looks. Or does it go the other way? Go like this? Okay, it goes like that. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because then this would go in there. Okay, so it goes like that. I've built the high grade version of this kit, so obviously there will be differences between the high grade and the master grade, but also I haven't thought about this kit in quite some time, so I am dealing with that. This is the wrong piece. That's the other side here. Yeah. So it goes like that. So then we can do the other pieces, which have to come out of here. But yeah, so it's been a while since I thought about this particular mobile suit, I should say. Let's start with the Nintendo Direct that happened today. People were worried they said there was going to be a July Nintendo Direct, and they did do one. It just happened to be today, the last day of July. It was a third party, so if you're looking for Metroid Prime stuff, no, you didn't get that. But they did talk about a bunch of things and things. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is a Capcom game coming up cool here. It's coming out. They imagine it's coming out next year. But no necessarily a date on that. I thought the trailer looked fine. I will say I have no pre-knowledge, no real knowledge of the various things that do with Monster Hunter Stories, but Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is a name that I think is like appropriately bad. Like, it is like one of those names where you're just like, yeah, that's a video game name. Sure. Yeah, that's what you name a video game. Yeah, okay. Like, that's the vibe. That's my feeling on that. I was just like, yeah, all right. Sure. That's what you call it? Okay. All right, so we got this on here. We got this on here. Now we need F15 and F15, 4 F15s. They're right over here. They got little nubbins that we'll take care of in a second. We'll get them off, and then we'll take off the extra nubbins. One thing about this master grade that I really like is I have not run into any undergating, any extra little pieces you got to trim off that are like really annoying and seemingly you weren't expecting to be on that kit. I have not run into those, and I love that. That's a hallmark of the real grade line, is the undergating pieces, the little nubbins you got to get rid of. This is the closest thing to that, and it's not really the same, but it is little extra pieces that need to come off that you don't need. Once Upon a Katamari is coming. Let's see. So this will be Switch 2 and also some Switch games. Um, so yeah, that is coming to the original Switch in October of this year. So if you still have a Switch, or you want to get some Switch games for your Switch 2, yeah, Once Upon a Katamari looks fun. I mean, I don't have much to say. Looks fun. Just Dance, which I know that Just Dance is like a Switch franchise, but it feels so like Wii and Wii U. Like they're still making Just Dance games in 2026. It's going to have co-op and a party mode. And it's coming to the Switch October 14th, because the Switch base is so big that, of course, like, they're going to be Switch games, because, like, if you're making a Just Dance, you are trying to sell it to people that own the console where there are more consoles than the current console. So, like, yeah. And also, I would imagine, do not quote me on this. If I am wrong, I would be happy to find that out. I imagine that runs perfectly fine on a Switch. That they're not trying to, like, exploit everything about the Switch to like, and that it is probably optimized pretty well for the Switch at this point. The Just Dance engine must run pretty all right on there. And again, if I'm incorrect, I apologize, and I would be happy to be corrected and to learn from my error. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero is coming to the Switch 2 in November of this year. So if you have a Switch 2 and you're looking for games, that's a video game you could play on the Switch 2 come this November, if that's how you want to roll. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted. They're still fucking making Plants vs. Zombie games. It has been less than 20 years, but only a little less than 20 years since the phone game back in 2008. Local co-op and PvP October 23rd for both Switch and Switch 2. So you can make your choice. They're still making Plants vs. Zombie games, and I feel like, okay, I don't know. I don't have a take on that, I guess. More than just like okay. Well, hell yeah, Plants vs. Zombies is a great PC console game. Look, I'm not trying to say that Plants vs. Zombies is not a good video game. It's a great video game. I'm just kind of surprised that it keeps existing and new stuff like, the idea that Plants vs. Zombies on Switch and Switch 2 is kind of a little surprising to me. So that's what I'm saying. EA Sports FC 26 is coming to Switch and Switch 2 on September 26th. So EA Sports FC6 on September 26th. It's very funny they made Plants vs. Zombies widescreen and just covered 1/3 of the screen in bushes. Yeah, that sounds like the most economical way to fix that. Like, shit. How do we do this? That's economical in a way that I can appreciate. Pac-Man World 2 Repack is the remake of Pac-Man World 2. Obviously. And you can play co-op, online co-op for it. It is coming to Switch and Switch 2. I do not have a date for that. That trailer looked fine. I remember Pac-Man World 2 being okay. I was not particularly enamored with that video game, but hey, it exists, and they're remaking it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you know what? All right, fine. Remake it. Final Fantasy Tactics is coming to Switch and Switch 2 on September 30th. This is not the AAA remake. This is just like a re-release of it. This is not a lavish graphical, big old, like, holy shit moment for the game. It is just a re-release. You know what? Final Fantasy Tactics, pretty fucking cool. It has been a hot minute since I played a Final Fantasy Tactics, but I do definitely put some goddamn time into that game. So it's cool that more people will get to play it. That or people that have fond memories of it can get back in there, get that thing going. That's cool. I'm happy to hear that. Persona 3 Reload. Persona 3 Reload is coming to Switch 2 on October 23rd. If I remember correctly, Persona games do very well on the Switch, especially the side games, but even this one too. And I imagine that this will continue to do well for Switch owners that are looking to get into the Persona stuff. And eventually when the 4 remake comes, that'll also sell well because people like that shit. They like the Persona games on Nintendo consoles, which is cool. All right, so this has to go like this. There we go. And then that's snap in the right spot. Do what you're supposed to do. Why are you bent weird? This is not right. So we pop this piece out. Okay, so this is basically this is on a track, and then this piece needs to also allow that part to be on a track. So I have to line it up properly. Oh wow, that thunder is close by and loud. My apologies for reacting to weather, but I am reacting to the weather. Thank you for the follow, Angered Presence. Appreciate that. Welcome to the old Build-A-Bear workshop. Lord Crash says, I heard that one. Yes. As they get closer, my gate will fail, especially if thunder happens when I'm not talking, or when I'm talking, it might slip through. When I'm not talking, it probably won't. Angered Presence says, I love that kit. What a great build. Yeah, I am currently running into a small issue with getting the side skirt here slid in right. And I imagine it'll go better for me on the second one. Once I do this right the first time, I will figure out how to get the other one on. But other than this little instance of me being frustrated, this has been a great build. Nope, that did not work right. Okay. Because this has got to slide back and forth, so... Okay. And of course, I want to get this on without breaking anything, because it would be such a shame to break such a lovely master grade. So, alright. Let's see. What am I doing wrong here? It's supposed to just slide right on top of this. And it's not. That's frustrating. What I can do is I can do the other one and see if that's... If this just slides right on, I'm going to be annoyed that it's... Yeah, okay, this one just slid right on. So, whatever issue I'm having was not an issue on this side. So that's weird. So maybe this piece is not flat enough here. I can put some more pressure on this. I don't want to put too much pressure on there. But yes, the other side slid right in just fine. And so I don't know why. Maybe. Okay. Is the gray part fully seated? It appears to be. It perhaps isn't fully seated. That could be the issue, is that this is not fully seated in there. So let me just slide it forward. Wow, that thunder is rolling in here. We're getting quite the storm. I will stop talking about the thunder at some point, but right now, while I do this. Okay, so let me see. Perhaps it's this. You know what? It might be. Yes. Yeah. It might be that this piece wasn't fully seated in here, and that's causing it to buckle up. So let's redo that. Let's reset that. That might be the cause. It might be that piece there I didn't have on well enough. And that could cause it. Again, with these instances, it's not like there are two reasons why something like this would happen. One, user error. And two, instructions not being fully clear. It is generally not that it is like unbelievably terrible design. That's like the third reason, and that's generally the rarest. I mean, with old kits, sometimes that's the case, but generally it's just like, oh, I didn't fully understand what this wanted me to do. I didn't read the instructions right. Or it can be also, like I said, sometimes it's like, yeah, I didn't read the instructions, or the instructions were very clear and I just didn't do it right, which also happens. And then, like I said, the third category of this is a bad design is certainly there. That certainly has happened before. It is less than likely that is the reason, but that has been the reason on occasion. Generally, those are flaws in design, and it's well documented and people know. And I would say probably not an issue that I'm going to run into in 2025. Yes, there we go. So most likely, this little piece here wasn't fully seated properly in this larger piece. So it was probably that the very first step in this thing, I did better the second time I did it than the first time. Because now they're all there, and then we can do this part, which is certainly easier. And then I need G1 on there as well, G1-2 as well. Yeah, so there we go. Speaking more on the Nintendo Direct, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is another Hyrule's game, or a Hyrule game that is also the Warriors franchise. It is looks pretty cool. It is apparently, like, it seems like this is what people were saying, like from the trailer and from some other information, that this is a lead-in to Tears of the Kingdom. That this is, like, story-wise at least, kind of setting up for that, and which is cool. It's a cool idea. Madden 2026 is coming in August to I believe just the Switch 2. So yeah, so if you want to play Madden on the Switch 2, if that's how you live and you want to keep living that way, then you get to. All right, so I need G1-2. G1-2 is right here. We need that. Then we get into some indie-ish stuff, I would say. Chilling by the Fire is about making a fire and hanging out. It's co-op, and it's out. It's out today. It was one of those. It was like, and you can play it right now. That looks very cool. I am excited to see. A friend of mine was talking about streaming it this weekend on a Discord with some people, and so I will probably check that out there. But it seemed neat. That seemed like a fun little game. But if you're desperate for some more stuff on your Switch 2, then that game exists, and you can pick that up if that's what you're looking for. All right, so then I got to go this side, and that's got to go like this. Apex Legends is coming to Switch 2 on August 5th, just in time for a new season. Apex Legends continues to be a thing, and it also is now on the Switch too. Well, it will be next month. So if that is what has been keeping you from playing that game, rejoice in the fact that you will be able to play that video game. So yeah, enjoy it. Hella is it's like a side-scrolling adventure of a mouse with a backpack. And there's also other players as mice. And that's coming to Switch 2. And it looked pretty fucking cute, and it's called Hella. So, like, yeah, all right. So, on September 4th, we're going to find out. We'll be done fucking around, and it'll be time to find out. Can Star Wars Outlaws run well period. No, on the Switch 2. Star Wars Outlaws on the Switch 2 feels like a gamble. Is that being harsh to say that feels like a gamble? Like in the first year? I don't know. Angered Presence says, I'm working on the Moon Knight Judge kit right now. It's a killer third party by Zero Gravity. Nice. Have fun with that. I mean, the name is great, Moon Knight Judge. Yeah, I hope that's going super well for you. Enjoy your third party kit. I don't build a lot of third party kits on this channel. I have built some on occasion. But it is generally, I usually stick to more licensed fare, because I try to keep up with the stuff that's out there for the shows that are, new-ish. Although obviously almost all of the kits that are coming out for G-Quux are coming out later in this year and didn't come out when the show was airing. But I do have the main G-Quux kit to build in the future, to build soon. All right, that didn't... what's going on with this? Trying on this one here? There it is. And put them there. So look at hey, welcome, Master Builder. All right, so they go live in here, and then this moves around like that. That's fun. And that slides around, and that's cool. And yeah. Feed these in. Then we will panel line this, throw in the adapter piece, and then we will be done with the side skirts. This does not require much. You go into the Gundam pop-up. Nice. Hell yeah. Enjoy. Yeah, so we'll panel line. There's not much to panel line here. We're going to need a little gray on this side, a little black on this side. But it is fun to do. Even the parts that you don't normally... You say, well, Pat, you're not going to be able to see that. Sometimes you pose a kit, and suddenly a piece you didn't panel line is noticeable. And you're like, oh, wait. Oh, no. So I always say it's worth it to do... I'm still doing the quick and dirty method. Here, I do not put a lot of particular energy to make it quote-unquote perfect. I just cover our panel lines here and then go over with an eraser and clean it up. But I do like to do it because you never know how a kit's going to get posed, and suddenly what I don't want to do is look at a kit after the fact and go, it just doesn't look right. Picking up some RG kit and limited kit. Nice. Last week says there's a third-party 1/100 scale kit of the P2. The Phyllis that I hope come back in stock when I have money for it. Nice, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't particularly pay too much attention to the third parties. There are some kits on occasion that I look at and go, ooh, that looks pretty good. But yeah, I think the last one we built that was a third party that was like, well, yeah, the last model kit third party I built was probably the Master Gundam, the Master Asia's horse, because the real grade of the real grade Master Gundam came out, and I wanted to put it on a horse. Yeah. I can highly recommend the Oberon if you're even remotely a fan of the Wing Zero. Yeah, you know what? I will say, I have heard good things about that. That kit's name has come up in conversation. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in my notes. Yes, I have heard of the oh yeah, it's a mecha core. Yeah, that is a good looking kit. I'm not gonna lie, those wings look pretty awesome. And I am a fan of the Wing Zero. I am a fan of look, there is something just really silly and great about a model kit, or like imagining a mobile suit of some kind with wings. It's just a silly idea that I enjoy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do enjoy that. Talking more about the Nintendo Direct that came out today. There was a survival horror game called Chronos: The New Dawn that's coming out September 5th. I am not much of a horror person myself, but that trailer was definitely evocative, so I'll give it that. And you know, some kind of got some space stuff going on in there. I was like, all right, yeah, okay. It's like, yeah, all right. Yakuza Kiwami. I don't know why Kiwami was a tough word for me to say there. Yakuza Kiwami 2, which is the remake of 2, Kiwami. And apparently, we already knew that the first Kiwami was coming out, the 1 remake, and now the second one is also coming out. Both are coming out the same day on Switch 2, November 13th. So if you are looking to get into remakes of the old games, if playing Zero made you say, I would like to know more about these games, because Yakuza 0 fucking rules, then yeah, it might be worth taking a look-see. And then there's some other third-party stuff. Borderlands 4, NBA Bounce look kind of fun. Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which I have some friends who are into the Hello Kitty games. Romancing Saga 2 and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Quick hits on that. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales is such this fucking name. God damn it. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales is such a video, like it's just like a fucking, how do I want to put this? You know that this is a Square Enix game, right? Like, I know before I look at who's making it. Oh yeah, that's a Square Enix. Square Enix is making it. Like, it's an HD 2D RPG. Like, yeah, of course they are. Of course they're making that game. Octopath Traveler 0 is the prequel to Octopath Traveler, but it is not the same game, Octopath Traveler 0, that exists, I believe, on mobile, that is a gacha game. This is not that, apparently. So it is like 0, but they've made it more of a full-fledged game that is not reliant on gacha. I should say that is not to say that gacha games aren't full-fledged video games, but they have taken out a big element of it and apparently replaced that with more RPG stuff. But it is not the same game. It is not the Switch 2 port of Octopath Traveler 0. While I am personally not interested in gacha as just in practice, not a gacha person myself, I am not saying that they are not full-fledged games. Lastwork says, I was just looking at Premium Bandai to check out on an order, and there is a model kit of a pair of Jordans. Yes, I did see that. That looked pretty fucking cool. That's a fun idea. I'm not opposed to that. That's a fun bit of business. I do not know if I'm going to be putting this kit on a stand, but I will put the peg in here that will allow me to put it on a stand later. I'll put the peg in because I might want to display this. I have not decided yet. So if I do end up displaying it, I won't have to go and search around for the piece that will let me put that in there. And then all we have left is the weapons in the backpack. So we'll get into that. Square Enix is just ripping off Elliot Quest. Yes, 100%. Obviously. Obvious ripoff. All right, we got a little time here to talk a little bit more about some other stuff. Some gaming news and such. Microsoft put out some hardware revenue stuff they're not selling a lot of Xbox hardware, as you might imagine. I'm not going to go too deep into all this stuff, but I will say Xbox games games that Xbox is publishing are doing well on the PlayStation. So much so that Microsoft is now the top publisher on PlayStation because 2025 is fucking weird. That is a true thing. I'm not making that up. That is just reality. Shit's weird. I don't know. This was their 10K filing. They bought the biggest publisher, so it makes sense. Yes, Lord Crash did. With them buying Activision, Blizzard King, it does make sense that they would suddenly be in position. But it's also about them, not just that, but also them putting other Microsoft games on PlayStation. And PlayStation putting stuff on PC and Xbox, and it's all a weird thing. Their hardware sales are in decline, but their gaming revenue is 9% year on year. And this is so fucking funny to me. Like, it made me sigh when I read it, but I also yeah, that's pretty funny. Microsoft CEO said Xbox, along with LinkedIn, is one of the company's 2 consumer businesses with massive end user reach. If you forgot that they own LinkedIn, they own LinkedIn, and that's their other thing with a lot of user reach. It's just like oofta. It's like yeah, all right, yeah. This is also a very funny thing to say. It's interesting about the PlayStation element. I think the PlayStation element is interesting, and we're talking about, right? They're also the number 1 publisher on Microsoft, on Xbox, I should say. And it's like, well, yeah, you better be. It would be wild if you weren't. If you were not the number 1 publisher on your own platform. But I guess that's implying that they're doing bigger than PlayStation is on their own. That's a bit of a dig on that, I guess. But I was just like, oh yeah, I mean, it would be wild if you weren't. But all right, good on you. Minecraft movie did real well, thus making Minecraft do even better than it already was doing. There also none of these gains, and in one case losses, means that they should. How do I say this? Yes. In light of how many people lost their jobs by being laid off or studio closures happening, it does fucking suck to hear this news. That if they were doing poorly, if the division was doing poorly, if Xbox as a division was doing bad, it would at least make some sense that they laid off of those people. But that is a reminder that that was not cost-cutting measures to make the Xbox division of Microsoft more profitable. It is merely the belief that that they can continue to make some money while Microsoft invests the money they save on paying people and also, of course, insurance and all those other things. That the money they would make, so they need the money to go away in some divisions to go into their AI bullshit. And so, yes, it does fucking suck that people lose their jobs and then they're like, and we're doing fucking great. We're doing so good. That obviously fucking sucks, but they were going to cut those people no matter what, because it's not about lazy or bad workers. It's just about freeing up capital. And the belief in Microsoft that Xbox is a division where you can just lay a bunch of people off. Crafton. I got an update on Crafton for you. A company that should just fucking stop talking with lawsuits pending, that should, by all metrics and all understanding, understand the philosophy of shut the fuck up Friday, they should treat every day like it's Friday and shut the fuck up. They apparently are choosing not to take that pertinent advice. And instead, they are speaking up where they should be shutting up. They had an earnings call, and investors were like, hey, are you managing investments properly? Like, are y'all fucking up? What's going on here? What's going on with the whole Subnautica 2 thing? Because they have to do, because they're a company that has investors, so they have to like do reports and stuff. So of course people were like, hey, what's up? We got this money in here. Like, you're not putting a video game out and then you're getting sued. What's the deal? So investors were like, what's going on with these investments? And then they were like, so this wasn't a direct question about Subnautica 2. This was just an open-ended question about investments. And they were like, using Subnautica 2 as an example, we're maintaining our internal processes are appropriate for, we maintain that our internal processes are appropriate for handling multiple games, initiatives, and individual milestones. They said individual milestones about the game that is slipping from its milestones, and they fired the creative leads on and then said it's coming, we're taking it out of early access and we don't know when it's going to come out. It's like, oh, wait, what? Okay. And they may or may not have hired the person to replace them and had that person fire those people that may or may not have been in there. We'll see. There was an acknowledgement that talk about legal proceedings for Subnautica 2 as well as its delay could lead people on the outside to think the company's internal milestone process is being mismanaged. But he'd prefer if investors on the call viewed Krafton's handling of the game in a positive light. I bet you fucking would. The actions that Krafton have taken on the game actually represent that things are effectively being managed inside Krafton when it comes to milestone management. So basically they're like, hey, all this shit that's blowing up in our faces, actually it's a good thing, and we would love it if you thought of it as a good thing. And that's just fucking incredible. Because we managed the whole milestone process very rigorously within the company, we were able to make the decision we made regarding Subnautica 2, because we felt the game was not up to par, not at the level we had wished it to be. So I think that case goes to show that our milestone process is being rigorously managed. It's just so fucking funny. It's such a wild spin. You could have just not talked about it to your investors. It may show up in the lawsuit. Like, what you've just said here may fucking show up in the lawsuit of like they did this egregious shit and they still think they were doing the right thing. Wild. Yes, it's just jargon bullshit. Also, reminder that we are only like a week ago they finished buying another indie studio, because that was in the process for a long time. That wasn't a new thing, but they did finish and they put pen to paper on that. They were like, oh, we should wrap up this purchase we're doing. Oh, unbelievable. All right, so E25, and has a sticker on it. Our second to last sticker is going on. Our first sticker of the night. Our second to last sticker. Yeah, that shit just made me laugh so much. Again, I'll probably talk more on Saturday about SummerSlam and kind of go over the results that have happened once the stream is started, because there'll be like probably 2 results. If you were unfamiliar, WWE SummerSlam used to be a 1-night event. It is this year for the first time a 2-night event. They're doing 2 nights of it, and shenanigans will take place. Belts will be on the line. there will be probably... Oh, sorry, hold on one second here. No, that's okay. At least one title will change hands, I am sure, over the 2 nights. Tiffany Stratton is defending her title against Jade Cargill. I feel like this will be... Tiffany is like still kind of a babyface, still kind of a heel. I don't think Jade is winning. I could see them wanting that to happen, but I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. I think Tiffany will retain, and she'll just be like a full-on heel. I just don't think... I think eventually they will put the belt on Jade. I just don't think they're going to do it this weekend. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll take on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. That's right, Jelly Roll, the musician, is teaming with Randy Orton to take on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre had been briefly stuck in another country, in England. He was attending a wedding, and apparently he had his... He is a dual citizen, and he had his English passport, which left him leave the country and go to England, but he did... Or UK passport, I should say. UK passport that let him go to England, but he did not have his American passport, so he could not get back to... He could not enter the United States without it, so he was stopped, and then apparently that has been fixed. One would assume that they basically sent a courier with it. That is my guess, is they just sent a courier. But I don't know. I don't actually know what they did, but they figured that shit out. Jelly Roll is going to pin Drew McIntyre. Or Jelly Roll will do something that will allow... Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are going to win. There's just no way around that. There's just no way around that. It's just wrestling is weird. Gunther is defending his championship against CM Punk. I think CM Punk is going to win that belt. And then CM Punk is going to lose to Seth Rollins, who is not as injured as they were saying. That Seth Rollins did get hurt, but they have been pushing it like that he was more hurt than he actually was. And then he is going to arrive and cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. CM Punk will have a belt that he has never held before because it wasn't introduced while he was in the company. And he will become that champion, and then he will also lose. And that is how he and Rollins will feud, and then also Gunther will probably feud, but I think Gunther is putting over Punk, and then Rollins is going to cash in. I could be completely wrong. I would love it if Gunther beat Punk. I think that would be phenomenal and great. I just don't think it's, unfortunately, likely. I think Gunther only won the belt off of Jey Uso so that he could lose, so that he could wrestle, Gunther was always going to retire Goldberg. They put the world heavyweight title on Gunther so that it made that Saturday night's main event match more of a prestigious thing. But he was always going to beat him, and that's the only reason. Gunther was only champion so that he could hold the belt while he faced against Goldberg, so now they can take the belt off of him. Lashbrook, I just imagine that WWE pumped so much fucking money into Punk's health, so that because once he got hurt at that Royal Rumble, they are not taking any chances. Now, as far as him imploding in a different way, meaning like losing his fucking mind at the company, I think part of it is the fact that he does not have any say in what the company does, and also has no alternative. Like, he has nothing beyond it. He went back, and so he kind of has to be on his best behavior. And I think he'll continue to be on his best behavior because he has nowhere else to go. Judgment Day Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are defending their women's championships. Tag champions against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair is currently a babyface that people like. The hardest thing in WWE is making Charlotte Flair likable, because she is an unbelievably great heel, because the persona that she presents to herself is of a nasty woman. She might be fucking lovely, I don't know, but she presents herself all the time as nasty. But people really like her tagging with Alexa Bliss. They are a fun duo. You also add in the idea that Roxanne took over the belts with Raquel, and you can add in some drama and storyline there if you want to do that. It just, to me, reads like they're going to win those belts. Now, the fact that Charlotte is getting over as a babyface in this tag team makes me think that WWE is going to fuck it up, because that's what they do. That's what they're best at, is taking something that's working and being like, well, we're either going to run this into the ground or we're just going to fuck it up right now. And so I do think there's an equal chance that, one, this tag team wins, becomes new champions, give a title, another title to Charlotte, and then break them up eventually, or they break up and then feud because they don't know what to do otherwise with Charlotte. And so they'll just break up this tag team. That is the other possibility that exists. Now, where did H go? That's G. Where did I put that? Here it is. I have it here. Okay. And I don't know what they're going to do. That's night one. Oh, night one. Sorry, there are two more matches for night one. I'll get through this quickly. We'll talk about night two on Saturday. Night one, also, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso take on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They're part of, with Paul Heyman as their manager. My assumption is this sets up Roman Reigns in a feud, like a solo feud with Braun Breaker. So I imagine that Jey Uso eats a pin here. I think it would be great if Roman Reigns and Jey Uso won this match, but then Bronson or Braun have to take the loss. And I think unified front, I think that they come out on top. I think Jey is taking that pin, and it's a bummer for Jey, but that's just seems to be where they're going with the character and all that. He's still really over. He's still beloved by the live crowd. It's just not in the cards to have a big SummerSlam win. And I think that's fine. And then Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross with Scarlett. It is a singles match. It is the only match on night one that doesn't have a stipulation, or that has a stipulation outside of being for a title. If Karrion Kross wins, that Sami Zayn has to say the words "Kross was right," because of course Karrion Kross has been playing mind games with Sami Zayn, and if Sami Zayn wins, then Karrion Kross has to say, "I was wrong" about what he was saying about Sami Zayn. This is nonsense. I think part of it is they are teasing the fact that maybe this dude is done. Kross might be done with the company, but I think he resigned. I don't know what they're going to do with this. It's a weird stipulation that I don't particularly care too much about. I think Karrion Kross is finally getting good reactions from the crowd. He works hard. I think he is a fine enough wrestler. I think now that he does not have a bunch of people, he is not leading a stable and he is just a dude, I think he is in a far better position than he was leading a shitty stable of people. I'm sorry that people lost their jobs, but also I think that stable was rough. And so I think I am fine with him running this new group, or just a duo with him and his wife. I don't know. I don't know what's better for that. I think Sami Zayn losing to Karrion Kross on a pay-per-view feels rotten, even if it's part of a storyline. But I also don't think that Karrion Kross should be losing if he's sticking around the company. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that works. In the second hour, I am going to put this backpack on, and then we will build some weapons. We are coming to the close of this cool model kit, and then we can at least look at the next thing we're working on, which is very fucking different. Very, very different from what we're doing here. We still have weapons to build and all of that. And so we will get to that in a moment. Before we continue working on this kit, put the backpack on and all that. It's the part of the stream. It's some people's least favorite part of the stream. And I don't know. There might be somebody out there that loves. I love when you talk about ways that you can support the channel. There might be somebody that loves this. But yeah, this is my time to talk to you about ways that you can support what I do here. There are various ways to do this. You being here is the most important thing, so don't feel like you have to support me financially, but if you want to, you certainly can. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue Emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here with Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, you want to do that, you want to link that, you get that token. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use it for me, your friend Pat, you can do that. That is the easiest way to support what I do here because you're already here on Twitch, so you can do that. We're currently at 22 subscribers. My goal is to get to 40 subscribers. I shut up about how many subscribers I have when I hit 40. If you want to become a subscriber, you can do that. If you want to gift a sub, it's the last day of the month, but if you still want to be one of the people that gifted a sub this month, you could do that. Bits and coins are also always appreciated. You're already here on Twitch. That's an easy way to support me, like I said. There are other ways. Like my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $1, $3, $5, and $10 patrons got a Q&A video. Is the only exclusive content that I make. I make a Q&A video monthly for my patrons, and so that's up there if people want to watch that. And of course, I'll have a post tomorrow with, because it'll be the beginning of the new month. And so I always put my schedule up on the 1st. And I do that there before I do it other places. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, I have a variety of videos. You should check out the various things that I make over there. You can, of course, if you would like to, subscribe. That's free. But if you want to become a member for just $2 a month, you can become a member over on my YouTube. And you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video that I put up yesterday, you would have already seen. It would have been old hat for you. Just a suggestion. You could do that. Let's see. We'll say those are monthly ways to support me financially. If you just want to throw $1 or $2 in the tip jar, I've got a Ko-Fi and I've got a PayPal. And everything I make through direct donations like that, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And out of that fund, I pulled money out to buy model kits. I've got a backlog of some kits. I'm going to be buying some Lego soon from various locations because I want to have some Lego. It's been a while since I built some Lego on stream, so I want to have some in my backlog. But I have some kits I'm eager to build. Also, weirdly enough, I got another thing to build that was sent by my friend DSHS, who also sent me the Vidar, which I'm working on right here. And I treated that like it was like a mailbag because I have an Amazon wish list. And anything bought off my Amazon wish list jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I work on. It is my way of saying thanks. If you would like to buy something off my wish list, you can. And again, come to me in the mail. I will make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you purchased. It will jump the queue and become the next thing I build. There is a very good price right now for the Magic the Gathering Planeswalker 500-piece jigsaw puzzle. If you want to see me work on another jigsaw puzzle, you could pick that up. And have it sent to me. Model kits, Lego sets, all kinds of things and things. I recently added a horse. I added a horse mech, a white horse mech from 30-minute missions that I would love to put together. It's a horse, of course. That will be fun. But yeah, I got inexpensive kits, expensive stuff that goes on sale all the time, stuff that's never on sale. and just seems to always hold its value. All kinds of different things and things. If you see something on my wish list you'd like to see me put together, feel free to, or at the very least consider picking it up, sending it my way, letting me build it. Oh yeah, I also recently added a Lego Technic bush plane. That's recently added as far as Lego goes. There's some 3-in-1 Lego stuff on there, like a typewriter, and a flamingo that looked fun. A Lego Dreams kit that is a giant panda. I certainly wouldn't mind building a giant panda, a dream panda from Lego Dreams. My alternative to Amazon, because it's nice to have alternatives, is Throne. That is a more curated list on Throne. But if you see something there you'd like to see me build, or you just want to buy me a gift card to someplace, you can do that. And the most convoluted way to support me financially, because people demanded it, you can go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you could buy a gift card. They will send you a whisper on Twitch, and they will send you, they will send you an email with that gift card. Then you can take that gift card code and you can send it to me via Whisper here on Twitch, or a DM on Twitter, or Blue Sky, or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store, which is just, again, so many fucking goddamn steps in that one, but people have done it, which is hilarious. Okay, a couple video links for you to check out. On Monday, I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club, my ongoing video series about anime. The most recent episode is me talking about anime that I wish I hadn't recommended. So that's the one that's currently on my YouTube channel. The most recent one is me talking about a couple shows I guess just kind of wish I hadn't told people about. And now going forward, I have decided to do my recommendations later in the month, so than I normally would. So I'm going to be doing that because every show I'll recommend it with at least 4 episodes out. Instead of like 2 or 3, I'm doing 4 or 5 episodes. So my next video will be actual recommendations. And I think I'm now at a better place where I can recommend those instead of being like, well, I just started this and it's kind of neat. Now I'm like, no, I've seen more of it. I'm feeling more confident. So that'll be the next one. And then my other anime show series where I talk about anime is Kuma Baer. It is my weekly recommendation series. And all throughout the month, because we're still in it. It's not over yet. We are still in the month of July. Throughout the course of July, I was talking about shows from the spring 2025 season that I thought were great, including Food for the Soul. Now, there were a ton of Girls Doing Things shows from the 2025 spring season, and one of those that I think kind of fell through the cracks is Food for the Soul. It is about a bunch of girls hanging out with each other, deepening friendships, eating food, going on adventures to find out more about other kinds of food and doing cooking. The characters are fully fleshed out, which you don't always get, I should say, in this style of show. So the girls had stuff going on, which was really fun. And sometimes it's a little bit about loneliness. Sometimes the show is about living a life in high school or college, I should say. But it's lovely, and the food looks great, and the girls are all great. Food for the Soul. Watch me talk about it in I think 50 seconds in the video to try to sell you on it. Now, I have some anime that I want to chat with you about, 2 shows that I've been watching, and while I get into that, before I do that, I need to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, and I need to drink some water, and we're going to do that right now. All right. So anime. I was just talking about it. Time to talk more about it. Let's talk about the latest episodes 4, respectively, for City, which is available on Amazon Prime, and new Panty Stocking with Garterbelt, which is available on Crunchyroll. And then first, let's put this backpack on. Backpack go on here. Here is the backpack. It's going to go here. This kit is now complete, except for the weapons. We gotta build some guns here, and then this kit will be done. It is a little unstable, I will say. Maybe if I put no, that probably won't be better. Yeah, this kit looks fucking great. It just looks so good. God damn. Just looks phenomenal. Just wild kit. Happy I got to build it. Now we got to build some of the weapons. We need H2 and H1. Where's H1? There it is. Great. All right. So now we're body complete on this big ass kit. Let's build the guns. We'll start with the rifle, which does have our final sticker that has to go on here. So we'll get that together. And I'll start talking about this episode of City. Now, as a reminder, I am mostly talking about City because, well, one, I think it's fucking rad. And two, I want people to watch it. Just understand that I will be talking about plot elements that happen in this episode, like all episodes. And this show is just bonkers and weird and maybe not like a strange show to go over the plot because it is a lot of non sequiturs and silly stuff. Lashberg says no spoilers. This collision main event was hell of a match. Nice. Yeah, I will be watching AEW Collision after tonight. I watched a little bit the first hour, but obviously not much of it, and I'll be watching all of it again after the stream. So, episode 4. Nagamo finds out that Hito, who works also at the Western Bistro, has been doing a good job. And is really proud, really happy. So goes back to the Western Bistro and sees that Hito is very proud of herself and is also weirdly proud of Tsurubishi and is like, basically, instead of him rewarding her and them for their good work, they're rewarding themselves. Except Tsurubishi doesn't work there. Like, that's the punchline. It's just like, what? No. What? You didn't do anything. What's happening right here? It's a good bit of business. All right, I need sticker 8, which is this sticker here. I almost didn't see the sticker because it's the same color as the background. So we'll put this sticker on here, and then we put the thing over it. So put that there. Get this on nice, and then we need this piece here, and then we also need G2 9. So we'll do that. So that's the first little bit of business. And then later, Tekawaku goes home and is greeted by a voice claiming to be him from the future. And so he starts answering questions, even though he should be asking the questions, but he's answering questions. And then it turns out it's just Tsurubishi again. This episode... thank you for the follow. This episode full of Tsurubishi just being a weirdo. Because apparently our boy Takawaku is just doing bad. His grades are bad. His grades are doing bad. And so this was just a, like, I don't want to say it was a scared straight, but it was like an interrogation about bad grades. It was very, very funny because it was one of those things where we were like, at no point was I like, oh yeah, this is definitely a character for the future. But like, maybe it could have been. I don't know. It was a fun bit of business. And then later, following again, another instance where Tsurubishi talks about Takawaku going to the restaurant that closed down before he could order anything else. The idea that, like, it's this like little scene of him just like going to a place and like every time he wants to order more food, they want to order more food. The store just is like, oh no, we're out. We're closing up for the day, and it's just like a continuing problem. Elsewhere, Matsuri and Echan, who are our philosophical characters. They are the characters we cut to, and they have big discussions that usually end with a pun or a silly non sequitur or an altercation. In this case, they're talking about English pronunciation of words, and it is, I am sure, funnier in Japanese. This is one of those things, like there are a couple jokes in this show that I'm like, in this style of show that I'm like, translation needed, but basically they're just talking about pronunciation, and it's an excuse for them to say Japanese or say English words pretty much incorrectly, and it's a fun bit of business. Then we have some other characters. I didn't realize that Sakura Kimo has a butler, but yeah, we got a butler. Hotoka. And they're talking about the citizens of city and how this is a great place. There are a lot of people working really hard and that do good deeds and help each other. And as they're talking about that, they notice that Nagumo is also helping some people, which causes the butler to start chasing her to thank her for helping out. And that freaks out Nagumo a lot. And then she goes and hangs out with her friends, Wako and Nikura. And Nikura has a pendant, and she is like trying to hide the fact that she has this pendant, and she is like trying her best to keep this thing hidden. Why can't I get this to work right? Why can't I get these? I need this to interlock, and I am doing it poorly, and I don't know why. This looks like this. And this looks like that. There it goes. This magazine didn't come together right, but that was probably my fault. And this has to go in here somehow. There it is. All right, there's the gun. One of our weapons here. And then this can go and live on the side skirt, which we'll do because we're going to have this kit hold 2 small guns and not a big gun, because it is more fun. It is more, look, it's more fun for a model kit of a mech to hold 2 pistols than to hold a big machine gun. It's just unbelievably more fun and funny, in my opinion, for that to be the case. You know, your mileage may vary. You might think, no, Pat, it's way cooler to have the big rifle. But in my mind, the 2 handguns are way fucking funnier. And then I think I have to put different hands on here to hold the guns, but whatever. Let's see. Dual wielding is always preferable. Yeah, I think dual wielding 2 small weapons is just funnier. But we can put the lance parts in here so you get the sense that this mobile suit is going to pull out a lance. Because I think that is neat. So we will do that. Or not a lance, but a saber. I'm sorry. The burst saber. My apologies. I was saying the wrong term there. The burst saber, we'll put that in on the other side, for balance. If you had this big suit and gave it 2 daggers, that would be great. Yes. Also, when a kit has 2 daggers, I'm going to take a photo of that kit holding the 2 daggers. That's just how we do things around here. Tend to talk about this episode. An animal shows up. A cat, Mimineko, shows up and steals that pendant, and everybody chases it. And the episode ends with the butler capturing Nagumo, putting her inside of a limousine and driving off. And Nikura is completely thrown by this because she believes that she just witnessed her friend be kidnapped. Like, a kidnapping just happened at the end of this episode, which is, again, one of the weirder elements of this. Okay, so this is how this works. Check. Do you see that shit? These live in here, and then you can just pull them out, and that's fucking cool as hell. But we'll leave it in there like that. Oops. I find that to be very fun and cool. We'll put that on there. But we still need to put the guns. We need to build the guns, or the little guns, and then this kit is done. These kits do live. They can hang out in here. They live on the sides, but we're gonna have the handguns be held because that to me is funnier. And I think I do need to switch the hands out for this. Yes, I need the hands that have these hands. So we'll do that. Weird episode, very fun. I enjoyed it. Speaking of weird, we got 3 chapters in this episode of Panty Stocking with Garterbelt new, aka season 2. Non sequiturs aplenty. This one was also dirty as usual. Very, very, very much so. Filthy, as the case may be. So apparently, the president of the city, because Dayton City has a president, the president recently had a new sex law put in place, and of course our girl Panty broke that law. She broke the law, and she has been sentenced to death. So Stocking is trying to figure out how to solve this, what to do, and is convinced to run for president. And so we're getting some election stuff. We're getting some nonsense about the U.S. A lot of parodies of American, politicians. Very silly, as you would expect for this show. Real goofy fucking time on this one. All right, so we got to keep those hands there so we can build the guns. This is a good, stupid episode here. And eventually, the incumbent president turns out he is a con man, and he is a ghost that is on the list of ghosts they need to kill and send back to either heaven or hell. So that ghost gets killed. So Panty, you would imagine, Panty just beat the incumbent president. She's gonna win. No, she loses in a fucking landslide. She loses horribly. It is very funny. But thankfully, so Stocking loses. Panty does not die, does not gets released because is pardoned because the new president of Dayton City is see-through. The Anarchy Sisters, the Anarchy Twins car. See-through the car is president of Dayton City and pardons Panty, which is very nice of see-through. That's the first part of this episode, of this nonsense. The second one, Panty, who was not really in the first part of the episode, gets to do some stuff. Panty is accidentally destroys the gravestone of a cat who passed on, and that the ghost of that kitten is now a full-fledged ghost, but is just like a little kitten cat that hung out, that wouldn't have hurt anybody. But basically, you can't get heaven coin because this ghost isn't worth it. It's just a small little ghost. So the episode is Panty trying to make this ghost grow big and strong so that she can then kill it and get the bounty. She names the ghost Vibe, and she starts overfeeding it. But eventually, she becomes attached to Vibe, and Vibe likes her. And it's a lovely little scenario of this, like, it's a fucking nonsense bullshit. All right, so I gotta put this in like this, and then this goes that. There we go. Okay. And then this will go in here. Because like I said, if I have the option to dual wield pistols, I'm going to dual wield pistols. Because that is stupid for a mech to dual wield pistols. Did it with the with Chibity's G Gundam kit, so I'm gonna do it here as well. The Maxter. If given the option, I'll do the option. Anyway, apparently, Vibe realizes, like, I like this, I like this situation, I like you, but also Vibe realizes that they need to be the bigger person, and so they find peace, and Vibe passes on to heaven. Does not need to be killed, and gets to go to heaven. And then Panty builds Vibe a new grave marker out of, you guessed it, vibrators, which is a gesture, which is meant to be a gesture of respect and adoration for that pet. It is meant to be a grand gesture, but of course, it is a silly thing, because what are you going to do? Oops, this didn't work. And then the third story is the Anarchy and Demon Sisters battle against a big ghost cube that is starting to turn the universe into a lifeless reality, resembling like the Dadaist comic book style, which is like a... They do the Kirby crackle, and if you are unfamiliar with the Kirby crackle, it is the or Kirby dots. It is the Field of Black, like negative space thing that Jack Kirby did a lot in the unbelievably weird space bullshit that he created, gorgeous bullshit that he created. So it is an homage to Jack Kirby, which I was not expecting. They meet a space ghost hunter. Panty shoots a bullet back in time and destroys the ghost before it lands on Earth. So Panty shoots a bullet through time to kill the ghost to prevent what had happened. And then in the present day, Panty receives a heaven coin and does not understand what happened. And in the future, there is a future different reality where Panty is a ghost hunter herself. She becomes a ghost hunter because the ghost hunter that is introduced is very cool and is probably only in this episode. But now there is an alternate reality where Panty is also a space ghost hunter, and it rules. This little chapter, or this little segment of the episode, was fucking rad. Like I said, all of a sudden they were in space, and there were some moments where I was like, they're doing the fucking dots? Last episode, they did a fucking Fast and Furious parody. And then this episode, they're like, actually, let's do some cool shit. Let's do some really cool shit. God, the series fucking rules. Hey, this kit's done. This kit is donezo. I finished it. It's wild. I'm going to zoom out so you can really see it. I zoomed out a lot so you could see all the nooks and crannies of this kit. Again, you can put the gun here on the side. I think that's really fun because these also holster on it if I wanted to holster them. I believe it's on the back of the kit. They fit or somewhere. They fit somewhere. I don't remember. Maybe they fit. Oh, they fit here. That's right. The guns fit on the inside of the skirt. This kit absolutely owns. It rules. Yes, typical anime trope. Yes, Lord Crashington. This kit was a pleasure to build. Thank you to DSHS for picking this kit up for me because they bought it and then also got gifted it. And they were like, oh, I'll just send one to Pat because he would probably want to build that. Dizzy Hippos wants me to ring the bell. I will ring this physical, actual bell. Thank you for using your channel points for something silly like this. Thank you for using your channel points for the physical, actual bell that I rang. But yes, I have completed this kit. And then Lord Crashin wants me to hit the dance button, which I will. Let me take a sip of my drink here. I will have a new song that will play, or I'll have a new song to that you can have me play starting on Saturday stream. But right now, here is the last chance for this dance button. as I take a photo of this kit because we're almost done with it. Or we are done with it. Now I gotta take a photo of this kit. Let me look at this photo. Make sure I like this look of this photo. I do. I like the look of this. Know what? No, the guns. I can't see the guns that well, so I'm going to take a different photo. I want to get the guns in here. This kit fucking ruled. There were a few spots that did bother me a little bit, but I remember the high grade, and that was a pleasure. And this kit was also a pleasure to work on. Happy that I got to do it. Okay, we're done with that. Goodbye to the Vidar. Let's see. This, that there. Put that there, and then I'm just gonna toss these aside, and I'll deal with that later. There are some extra parts here because this was. When was the last time you paid the site tax? So these are components. This kit does have a lot of stuff. If you want to turn this into or parts of this, if you want parts of this to be the Barbatos, you could make it more like a Barbatos. The last time I built a Death Scythe was the Death Scythe Hell high grade premium Bandai kit. That's the last time I built the Death Scythe. I do need to build another Death Scythe at some point. I mean, they don't make new. That was the newest Death Scythe they've made in a while. But I have built every Death Scythe available, from SD all the way to Master Grade, and then the HD, the high grade from the manga, the premium Bandai Death Scythe that had the wings that are kind of like the wing, the original wings. That kit, I built that. So, you know, when there's a Death Scythe, I will build it. So this is the next thing we're working on. I'll zoom in a bit here, but we'll just open it right now. Vidar can go away. You can see that I have my Stream Deck over here. There's my Stream Deck. And then coming in, the Zaku 2, Charged Zaku 2. So this kit is the SD Gundam cross silhouette. Where you get the RX-782 Gundam, and then the other kit is the Zaku 2. The RX-782 Gundam has already been built, so I don't have that. I just have all the components to build this, because this was a gift sent. The same person, DSHS out there, realized like he was going to send me, which was very kind of him, sending me the Vidar for me to build it, and was like, oh, while I do that, let me send you this other kit, because I'm never going to build it, because I don't need that. And so I was like, yes, I will take this off your hands. It is a fun bonus. I'm so glad iPatch Wolf was forced to build Gundam and went right to Death Scythe, just speed running every 13-year-old arc with Gundam. I mean, yeah, that's also my journey. My journey was also, I own action figures. Wait, this is not an action figure. I have purchased a model kit. I don't fucking know how to build a model kit. I now have a model kit. This was the 1/100. I built the 1/100 high grade of the Death Scythe. The original Death Scythe 1/100 high grade, because I was like, oh shit, I just bought this off eBay and it is not an action figure. It is a model kit. I thought I was buying a big action figure. I bought a model kit. I don't fucking know how to build model kits. I guess I'm learning how to build model kits. All right, so we're building the Zaku 2, which means we are following these instructions. So we're just going through that. So we're just doing the bottom instructions of this. And then we get the, here, again, they just shows to do this, which I think is a weird way of doing it, but whatever. So we'll go through and build it that way. And we'll start over here with this. It's not the best way to do it for my liking, but sure, whatever. But yeah, this is the new thing that we were working on. I just remember getting one of the cheap lower end ones from Toys R Us because they didn't have heavy arms, and as a 12-year-old I had no concept of special ordering. Yeah, if they don't have the thing you want, like, eventually I started going to hobby shops and getting things that I actually wanted and all of that, but that was not a thing I started doing. All right, so we have A, B, got two B's here, and C. Let me get this lined up right here. Pop this down. This is kind of to me anyway, this SD kit not having a lot of stickers is actually surprising. Often SD kits have a ton of stickers. It might be because it's a Zaku 2 and because it was a 2-pack, but there's not that many stickers here. There's just 3. So this actually won't be that long of a build. Which we will, at the very least, we're going to get started. And I assume I'm going to finish this on Saturday. There will be a poll tomorrow for my $10 patrons about what I should be building after this. Because I do think that I will, in 2 hours on Saturday, I will have built most of this kit, if not all of this kit. You know, there are more SD kits that are more advanced than this, but this is still not going to be like too difficult. Mostly it's just difficult because there's a lot of writing on here that I'm like looking to. Oh, it just says dark gray. There are 2 different A2s, so it wants to make sure I know I'm picking the right A2. That's what is happening here. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about the things that you've got going on. If you're playing any video games, you're watching anything. Thank you to everybody that came by on my stream on Tuesday for me watching wrestling. Pat Watches Wrestling is usually Pat Watches Wrestling as an excuse for me to compile a bunch of wrestling. Sometimes thematic, sometimes just stuff that I've been looking through some old stuff that won't get me an issue with me putting it up, me talking about it, that kind of thing. And then while I was compiling, I could not decide which match I wanted to run off of Wrestling Queendom Disc 2 from All Japan from 1994. I could not decide between those, and so I decided, well, I'm just going to run the whole second disc, because the second disc is basically 2 hours, so I just did that. So thank you to everybody that tuned in for that. That was very fun to stream and talk wrestling and talk the time. The next time I do a stream like that, I will do more curated list. I'll make sure to kind of have more stuff going on, but that one was just one that I just wanted to do. It was just stuff I wanted to talk about. All right, so these are the shoulders here, so put that on there. Working on our chest here, starting off strong on the chest. Dizzy just finished Collision a bit ago. You will be shocked to know Dustin, Kyle, and Willow Tekla were good. I mean, like, this is a larger conversation. The idea that Kyle, like, I had no doubt in my mind that Kyle and Dustin wouldn't, like, book a good match. Like, the two of them would come up with stuff. Kyle is a very generous wrestler. Dustin with enough fucking room to breathe. I could see, like now that he's had some time, he hasn't had any matches in a bit, in a week, I think, like, the two of them could certainly put on a good show together. Would not be surprised. Honestly, I have such a, I don't want to say I think she's bad or anything. I just have no opinion on Tekla. I just have, like, a non-opinion on her. I think her being in a faction is really smart, and maybe they should have considered doing that immediately. But I just have, like, I have no real thoughts on Tekla as it is. She is just a Like, I don't know. Um, I'm glad she's in a faction, even if that faction has terrible name. That name fucking sucks. Triangle of Madness is awful. That is an awful name for a faction. What are we doing here? I like everyone in that stable. I mean, I don't have a super any opinion on Tekla, but I do like the other wrestlers in that stable. I just think that name is awful. It is. I just think it's a real bad name for a faction. Triangle of Madness. It's just like, what are we doing here? What is this? It's just like, they already had a faction named Death Triangle. And I know we'll never see, never say never. We most likely will never see Death Triangle again. But they had a faction named Death Triangle, which only worked as a name because of the people in it. And I don't think this one works with the name that they've been given. I don't think they can own that name. Last week says, I got a wild hair to get new songs and play some Clone Hero today. Excited to watch a bunch of fighting games this weekend. It's EVO weekend, yes. I do not plan on watching anything from EVO, but I do plan on watching clips of things that went viral or people were fucking stoked about. That is generally how I watch EVO, is I hear about the coolest shit and go watch clips of that. So I'm looking forward to that. No Booker is perfect. One is bad at naming factions. The other is a fascist that stands feet from accused sex pests talking about children's health. So here's the thing, Dizzy. When I talk shit about AEW, sometimes people like to tell me, oh, well, WWE is worse. And I'm not talking about WWE when I talk about AEW criticism. I don't think you're doing this, Dizzy. I do not think that you are trying to tell me not to complain about things I don't like in a wrestling show that I'm watching, because the alternative is a company run by evil people. And Tony Khan is rich and is a nepo baby, but also seemingly is just like a likable dork, right? But when I talk shit about AEW, it is not because I think that WWE is doing anything better, except booking their women's division. I think that Tony Khan just is not interested in a strong women's division, and he lucked out into having one of the best people in his company be a woman. With that has gotten the most over, but that is not because of Tony Khan. That is in spite of Tony Khan. But when I talk shit about it, it is not because I think that WWE is better. It's just that I have issues with AEW. Yeah. Oh yes, no, of course, and you should be making a joke about Triple H. And all of the garbage inherent with that. Listen to Jeff's podcast for this week and was surprised when he said he was going to do a birthday stream that could go 10 plus hours. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea how long Jeff is going to go. He didn't stream yesterday because he was out doing family stuff, and he is seemingly going to be doing a very long stream today. I do not know how long that will be, but it seems like he might try to fucking do some shit tonight. So we'll see. We'll see how, or tomorrow, I should say. We'll see how that goes for him. It's going to be interesting to see how attendance at EVO is this year. Sounds like it's way down. So EVO seems to be in trouble of not necessarily attendance-wise, but the number of people that are going to EVO to compete is down, because traveling to the United States EVO is not worth it. It is not worth the gamble for 20-somethings, 30-somethings, anybody to travel to the United States. It's just not worth it. The prize pools in EVO are not worth the risk for a lot of people to travel. You know, state to state even. It's just a tough time. Yeah. Yeah, I could see a lot of people deciding that this year they would do Evo Paris. Yeah, I could see that being a thing for international travelers. I think it's just like a rough time. But who knows? I know a lot of people were like, why are the numbers so bad this year or this time around? It was like gestures. Yeah, gestures vaguely. Like, come on. If anybody else has been playing any video games, watching anything, let me know in the chat. Always love hearing from you. Also, my daily drivers. I'm playing Hearthstone, and I've got a deck that is complete fucking garbage. One new card makes a deck that was already pretty good way more consistent. It is a OTK where you buff the fuck out of a zero cost boar, and you just make a boar because that's charge. You just make like 2 boar and buff it up to hell, and it fucking sucks. It is a shit deck, but it's got a good win rate. I would not even call this a scam deck. This deck is not a scam deck. It is just garbage, and I feel bad for playing it. But also, it's fun to play. Your opponent, basically, unless your opponent has like 2 taunts that you can't get through, it's an OTK. Like almost every time, it is wildly consistent. And easy to get together and make work. Just unbelievably consistent deck. And then I'm playing Nubby's Number Factory. Turns out there was a Tony, a modifier that I hadn't unlocked. So I spent yesterday and today unlocking that modifier and winning with it. I basically at one point broke the game. I just got a loop going where I kept making something bigger and bigger, a peg. I couldn't break through a peg but as soon as I tried to get rid of it, it would double in size, double in original size. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. So I just have to keep hitting end. So yeah, I ended up doing pretty okay. That game still fucking rules. Nubby's Number Factory is still my game of the year. I love that fucking thing. It's so bonkers and fun. I'm just really enjoying it. Dizzy says they finally cycled out sets for MTG, and like all my standard decks are dead now. Yep, that is always rough. I had a standard deck in Hearthstone that I really liked that this year the main cards for the deck that made the deck make sense just kind of went out there. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to focus on Wild for a bit until there's another standard deck that I want to play. I usually like having one standard deck. I don't have one for this expansion. Lord Crash says, I got Ninja Gaiden Rage Bound, and that's a fun and challenging game. Yeah, I've heard that's pretty damn hard. I heard good things. It's nice to see the devs of Blasphemous get to make a new game in such a storied franchise. Yeah, that's very fucking cool. But yeah, the people I've heard talking about that game are real into it. So I'm glad that's good. And then Dizzy says, I have a similar deck like that in Arena for Brawl. If I survive turn 5 at OTK every time for 60 plus DMG. Yeah. Sometimes decks just do that. You know, if you can set it up, you're just going to win. I do like I like a lot of different kinds of decks. I do like the high risk, high reward decks. But this one I'm currently playing is just a bit too consistent. It's one of those things where I'm like, they're going to make it's annoying enough that it won't affect standard players, but wild players will complain enough that the card that makes this deck work is a 5-cost card that has Kindred, that if you play a nature spell the turn before you play this 5-cost nature spell, you can make the cards you're pulling from your deck cost 1 less. So it just makes the deck real easy. So either they're going to get rid of the Kindred, or they're going to make it cost 6 mana to just delay it. And I think they're going to nerf they should nerf that card. just for wild players. But I don't know if they will. Just because of wild players, I should say. I don't know if they're going to nerf it, because it's probably not going to affect too many people, but it is funny. It is funny to have, like, suddenly just be like, I'm playing all of this. I played every card in my hand, and I drew a bunch of cards and played those, and then I'm hitting you in the face for, I have a 30-30 zero cost boar with charge. I win. Very dumb. Lord Crash says, I tried a demo for an upcoming Steam game called Monster Mop-Up that seems neat with some Power Simulator vibes, though it has a lot of poop to deal with and monster catching to it. Oh, so it's not just Power Wash Simulator for monsters. You also have to capture monsters. That sounds kind of fun. I am going to put that on my list. I don't know when in August, but a Tuesday in August, I am probably doing a demo stream. Next Tuesday, I am playing Nubby's Number Factory again, because I've only streamed that game once, and I really like it. And I want to show off, now that I've unlocked a bunch of the Tonys, I want to show, like, my pro strats for a great game of that. But I'm also better at Nubby's Number Factory than I was when I streamed it the first time. So I'm going to do that again. But sometime next month, I'm going to show some demos, because I want to show demos. Little monsters are making the mess in some of the homes you're working on. Okay, makes sense. Dizzy started Void Stranger. It's interesting, but I'm not good at Sokoban puzzles. Yeah, that's gonna hurt it if you're not good at the puzzles. All right, I'm gonna say we're gonna call that here. I will continue to work on the Zaku 2. We have the right arm, the left arm, the right leg, the left leg. Looks like we're not doing the head until the end. So we build the waist, the head, and then the weapons, which seems to be where, we'll do that. At least one of our stickers will go there, and then the weapons probably have the other stickers. It does come with a bazooka. Hell yeah, it comes with a bazooka. And it's got its remove using nippers. Nice. It does have the bazooka. It has the machine gun, and it has the heat tomahawk, which you need. The axe, the heat axe, I should say, and also the missile launchers. Charzaku 2. It's got the stuff that you crave. This will be a fairly quick build because, like I said, unlike some other SD kits, this one does not require a lot of stickers, so it should not take forever and a day to put together. But this is my next build, and then I'll have something else. One of the two scary Zakus ever, the other being the blue one from 8th MS Team. I mean, like, it's debatable. Is a goof a Zaku? And I would say that the goof is a Zaku. The goof custom, because that is obviously one of the scariest kits, the scariest Zakus. But I don't know if and that's what I think you're talking about. I think you're talking about the goof custom is the upgraded variant of the goof in 8th MS Team. Is that a Zaku? If it counts as a Zaku, then it is. I'm now looking at the Gundam wiki. Of course, Ramba would say that's no Zaku. But if you count it as a Zaku, it is the most dangerous Zaku. The goof outclasses Zaku 2 in terms of speed power. Yeah, I guess it's not a Zaku. I guess you would say it is not that. So perhaps no. But it is a kit that rules. Mobile suit that rules. The goof is awesome. I wish there was a modern redo of the goof high grade, because I've already built that kit and I don't need to build it again. But the goof is awesome. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. Thank you all so much for being here, spending some time with me on a Thursday. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff and go and spend some time with them. My next stream will be on Saturday. I will be working on this Charzaku 2. I almost said goof. I'm not working on my goof. Charzaku 2 will be the next thing that we build. So I hope you will join me for that. We are going to raid and go find somebody doing cool stuff and go hang out with them. I don't know who we're going to... How long have they been going? I was on Giant Bomb Forever today, and luckily I found out about that. Somebody let me know, and that was neat to see. So that was cool. We won't go there, but I just want to give a shout out because that was neat. We have not rated Matt Wiggins in a long time. Matt Wiggins is still playing through Tears of the Kingdom, but now is on the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom, and has been for a while. So we're gonna go raid. You need to catch up on Dump Truck. Yeah, Vinny and Alex were on Dump Truck, which is very cool. So we're gonna go raid Matt Wiggins. Matt rules. A fine Zelda player and a great community over there. So please come along on this raid. And then a reminder, my next stream will be Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be working on that cool little thing. And then we might start something new. It might be a thing that takes all stream. I doubt it. So I will be running a poll on tomorrow. I'll be running a poll for my $10 patron to decide what I work on next, and we'll add it to the pile. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope to see you again. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.